it's the first. Okay. Hi. This is July 1st, and it's 2025, and we're just doing a little follow-up on Clark. Now, Clark is our little, we believe, swallow that fell down our chimney, and he's a little super bird. Was very young, I believe, probably just a very few days old when he fell down. No feathers, but lots of little quills for the feathers to come out. And so yesterday was the first one that we tried to bring you up to speed on this, and then today is a little bit of a follow-up. He's already stronger and a little louder, and he does seem to be eating a little bit more. So just a quick review. We are feeding him chicken, baby Gerber food chicken. It's all pureed, and just this and the juice of one grape. There should be about 5 or 6 drops if you just stand and squeeze. The consistency needs to be a little bit more watery than pudding, just a little bit, because what I do now is I put about this much water in a little saucepan, and when it gets hot, I put in this with about a half teaspoon of this in with this. Now, if it isn't quite the right consistency and I need more, then I will go over to the sink, run the water, put my hand in it, and then just get a little drop, maybe like 1 drop into it. That's how I do that. And then mix it all together, and we're good to go. I put it in the pan, and I wait just a little bit. The outside of this will help keep this warm, but just for a little while because it's not very much. And then I dip my finger in it this way because this is more sensitive so that it's not too hot. If it is too hot, just leave it aside and it'll cool down. Okay, so I have my pipette or my little, just cut off about a ½ an inch here and then trimmed it down with a pair of scissors just like you would a fingernail so that I have a little scoop. And I did it the same on this end in case I pick it up the wrong way, and maybe I do both sides. And I run this through the water and clean it up every time I use it. Okay, so I've done something different in his box. The paper, the butcher paper that I had in there had to be changed out, and I don't have any more butcher paper to replace it with, so I put in some binder paper, just regular lined school binder paper. It's not super slick, but and hopefully it'll add a little bit of traction so he doesn't slide all over the place, because that you really don't want. But right now he's not doing a lot of walking in the box. But I had to find another little area where he could be kind of private, because he loves my hand and he likes being kind of sheltered, and I'm sure that makes him feel very similar to how he did when he was in the nest. So I've got the little box. I rolled up his bedding, two of his little bedding, and kind of put them on the side of the box on the inside so that I could make that area inside just a little smaller, and maybe he'd feel more cozy. And then I put him in on the bottom part. Well, he climbed up to get to the top of those fabric rolls. So he likes being elevated when he can. That's very bird-like. The other thing is that I didn't mention this yesterday, was that you have to be very careful with regard to the warmth. I don't have him around any vents, no drafts. Can't have him around a draft. If you have a door that's being opened and shut all the time to the outside, then you would want to keep him away from that. The drafts are not good for birds, any bird. If you have a little parakeet at home or any other kind of bird and they're too close to a door or where there's a draft from the air conditioning or the heater, that's not a good place for them to be. They'll thrive a lot better being away from the draft. But anyway, so what I did was, by doing the box, I do kind of, it doesn't make it warmer for him, but it does keep the air from getting in there too much. And it's not too terribly cold outside right now. So, and we keep the house at about 79. So that's a pretty good temperature, I think. I can't put a heating pad in there. It would get too hot for him. I had thought about some kind of a hot water bottle, but I'm thinking, I just think maybe that's not so good. I couldn't keep it constant, so it would be fluctuating. Anyway, he's been doing okay, but I try to keep it in mind. But he certainly does love my hand, and I think it's the warmth of my hand that he loves so much. Okay, so I'm going to arouse him. He's been sleeping, and he's hearing my voice, but he's not chirping. So this will be his final meal for the day. Today, because several times I walked by and he started chirping, so I fed him a few times during the day, not a full, what I consider a meal. I try to give him about as much as he will take, and then we stop. And I try to make sure if he's just kind of going to sleep a lot and he's stopped eating, he won't take anything, and I don't see his little tongue, that little tongue that's like a thread, then I know it's time to stop. Okay, so here we go. He's also louder than I'm going to bring the whole thing out. Okay, I'm just going to bring the whole thing out for you. Okay, look at his wings. They're already getting bigger out this way. Ooh. Okay. I got to be careful because he cannot fall. Just absolutely cannot. But I was hoping to get more of the spread of his, can you see it? So you can see the little black tips on the edge there? Okay. Then I have learned to kind of move my hands or rough him up. He's getting a little, if you can see this, he's getting little parts now that are sticking up. Can you see those? This is so hilarious. It's just hysterical. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. If I get him, if I kind of just move around a bit, it really frustrates him. And he will open his mouth a little wider. But see, he's still taking it in even now. His little gullet is starting to move. But he's not. The process, sometimes we have good meals and then we have some that are a bit more work. I'll kind of move him around a bit. He doesn't care to be jostled. Well, you have to kind of help me here. Come on, open up. See, he's trying to take something down when he does that, lifts up his head and does that. Oh, good. See, he's taking it in. Just little bits, though, when he does that. I'm more satisfied getting a little pipette, little drop in him. But this is he's still getting it in. It's just, I can't tell how much. It doesn't seem to disappear very quickly from here. So it's just little bits here and little bits there. All right, maybe if I pick you up, or I try to, maybe you'll get upset with me, and that would be very good for the feeding. Okay, are you gonna, oops. Okay. I don't pull against his claws if he won't let go. I don't pull against them because it could hurt him. Well, he does not seem very hungry. Now see, he's chirping just a little tiny bit. And he's not, I think he's going back to sleep. Okay. He's a lot livelier than he was. And then he just kind of goes to sleep a little. Come on, baby. Okay, and that's pretty much the process. If he opens up his mouth, if I can get him a little distressed, where things are moving around and he's a little unsettled, he's a little uncomfy, then, or he gets angry with me because I'm moving him around and he doesn't like that, then he'll open up his mouth. But he sucks. He does this little sucking thing, too, that I've noticed. And that's something that I hadn't expected. But it's just such little teeny amounts. So I try to make the little straw part that's filled with the food available to the very end of his beak. And I know his little nose is down there somewhere, so I try not to get a whole bunch of it on him. And then I do have the little tiny paper towels that I, about 2-inch square of paper towel that I rip up, little 2-inch square that I then put in water. Oh, he just doesn't seem to be that. Oh. Again, falling is just not an option here. I hope you can see how much, how his wings are just really growing. And all right, Clark. So we named him, I named him Clark, which was after Clark Kent, who was Superman, because he came down that chimney in a single bound. I just don't think he's very hungry right now. Okay, so he took a little tiny bit. All right, well, okay, well, I'll put him back down. Now, he kind of knows, something else I noticed was, excuse me, my nose. Something else I noticed about him was that when I go like this in the air, he thinks that's his mom. He starts to move. I think that that's how her wings, maybe the flapping or the change, because his eyes are still not opened. So, okay. When I go like this, he gets a little bit of the wind on him. Sometimes that'll really enliven him. I don't think he's very hungry right now. This is like a little snack. All right. So we're going to put Clark back to bed. Okay, so this was just a little follow-up, just to let you know how he's doing. And also, if you have any gumption, if you find a little bird, maybe this will help give you confidence that you can do this. You can take care of him. Resources are very limited for this little thing, you know. If it's not you, he may not have any resources. All right. Have a great day. God bless you. And Clark says goodbye.